Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with only one Horsey was a fast and easy solo run. Let's follow it up with one that's probably impossible. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Black with a team of only one Foongus. Man, this one's gonna be brutal. Would you look at these stats? We're a poison and grass type with just horrible speed. Our health is passable, and I guess our other stats aren't the worst I've seen, but man, this speed is gonna make the run brutal compared to last week's run. Check out the level up moves. I'm not really seeing many high damage moves here outside of Solar Beam. Like, what do we even keep here? Obviously Spore is amazing, but that's not till level 50. Giga Drain's a solid move, but that's about it. Maybe we could get some niche use out of Ingrain? That's a long shot. Toxic could be useful in a crisis, but I would still need to survive for quite a while before it would help us. Then we have our TM moves, and man, this is a short list. Maybe Venoshock could be used alongside Toxic. Maybe Grass Knot could have some rare fights where it's useful, but this doesn't really look good. I think we're looking at another Growth and Giga Drain kind of strategy. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I fully believe that I'm gonna lose this one, but I'm excited to see how far I can make it. I could see this being the kind of run where we need to get to a really high level before we can even get past the Flying Gym. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Foongus. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Snivy with Foongus so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Snivy so that our rival would have Emboar, probably the hardest tourist to fight. I named him Funaki, Unova #1 announcer. Alright, so I figure this early game might be rough. We've got Absorb, and we learn Growth really early, so that's our go-to combo. I think this is going to be kind of like the Maractus run that I've done, but probably a lot harder. I figure that I won't be able to beat the first gym until I learn Mega Drain at level 15, and even then it won't be easy. I'm going to say right now that although I'm going to be grinding early on where I can, I figure that rare candies are going to be just about required if I want to keep the pace of the run going around when I get to the normal gym. I'm sure you guys remember, but Gen 5 has a different experience system where you get a boost to the experience if you're at a lower level than your opponent, but you also receive much less experience if you're a higher level. Well, in solo runs, you're basically always a higher level than wild Pokemon, and even most trainer Pokemon. You mix that in with having a Pokemon that doesn't hit very hard and low damage moves without many power points, and grinding is going to be incredibly slow. Now, rare candies kind of make the run a little bit harder, since we'll be getting our effort values later on. But in fairness, I don't think anyone ever complains when I make the run harder. It'll both be speeding up the recording of the run and potentially making it more difficult at points. So I kind of look at that as a win-win. Anyway, let's go to the first gym. On our way there though, we had to fight Sharon, and he was pretty easy. I don't know what's up with the AI in this fight, but he uses Tail Whip over and over instead of just spamming Ember. I ended up just building up our growth for a little while, then hitting Astonish for the Tepig and Absorb for the Purloin. Astonish is a really weak move, but it's early game and growth powers up both attack and special attack, so it works. Next is the first gym, and this one did take a couple tries. See, the thing is, I need to use growth about 5 times if I want to two-shot the Pansear, but they're using Workup, a move that does the exact same thing as our growth. Lillipup is really random on when he uses Bite and when he uses more Workup, so I can get away with using growth quite a bit early on and then healing back up with Mega Drain. After a couple of tries, I ended up winning just because the 5th growth let us two-shot with Astonish. Our low speed made the fight a lot harder than it needed to be. After that is Charon again, and once again I was saved by the weird AI. I was able to build up growth 6 times thanks to him using so many tail whips and defense curls. We took a bit of damage, but after that many growths, we can heal with Mega Drain quite a bit to stay healthy. I'm gonna go grab a Miracle Seed and then give the end fight a try, although I'm not really sure how that's gonna go. Well, I kinda thought that we might have some trouble with the first end fight, but it was easy. Pidove couldn't really do anything to us outside of the crit he landed, and we have Feint Attack now for a better non-grass move, so we took his team out pretty fast. I really doubt that the normal gym is gonna go that well though. So I tried the normal gym a few times after clearing out all the trainers in the area, but man, it's not even close to happening. We're slower and she loves opening with a bunch of tail whips, so we always end up going down to takedown pretty quickly. Even if we could fluke a knockout, you know that Watchog would have an easy time finishing us off. I'm not gonna rare candy up quite yet though. I'm starting to think that I can max out my effort values pretty quickly as long as I hang out by the nurse west of town. I'll give it a good long grind, try the normal gym more, then use rare candies after if we need to. Giga Drain is at level 28, so I figure that's around when we'll win. Man, this is brutal. I grinded to level 28 and got 3 growths in. Giga Drain is able to take out Herdier now, but Watchog used Crunch to take us out. If she had gone for Hypnosis, then maybe it would miss and we could get a one-shot? I don't know, it might be wishful thinking, but I want to try a few more times and just see what happens. Hey, I guess my thinking wasn't too wishful after all, because Effect Spore just saved us. It put Herdier to sleep so I could get a bunch of growths in, then Watchog used Leer instead of hitting us, so we got the one-shot. And here I was thinking Effect Spore was gonna hurt us in the long run when we try and use Spore at level 50, but instead it just saved us in the early run. You know what, I'm actually surprised with how well things have been going. I haven't needed to use any rare candies yet, and I think the next few fights won't be too bad. The Bug Gym will probably be a first try since we resist most of their moves. I don't think that Bianca and Sharon fights will be too bad, and I'm kinda iffy on the end fight because of his Sigalith, but I could see it being a first try. Really, it's the Electric Gym that I'm worried about, but at least by the time we get there, we could get the TM for return, and probably brute force it. Chances are, though, that we'll need rare candies for that fight. She's got 2 Pokemon with flying moves and 1 with a fire move, plus 2 of her Pokemon resist grass. Chances are that we can't do much to her team, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Until then, I'm just gonna try and fight a lot of trainers. So, first is the Bug Gym, and it was a first try, although it almost wasn't. I knew that Whirlipede couldn't hurt us much, so I just built up 6 growths and then swept the fight. Because of him critting me though, our health was extremely low. Plus, the Dwebble Sand attacked us, so we could have gotten really unlucky and lost the fight if I missed too much. Next is Bianca, but she's pretty easy. Her Herdier at the start can hardly do damage with Takedown, but we healed a lot off Giga Drain, and her strongest Pokemon is a water type, so it's really not that bad. After that is Charon, and we probably could have lost this if Pignite picked better moves and we didn't crit, but overall it wasn't too bad. We flinched twice in a row to bite from Pansage, but it didn't hurt too much. I was worried about the Sandstorm damage building up, but Giga Drain really does keep us healthy. I'm not sure how the end fight's gonna go though. So I tried the end fight a ton of times, but the problem is that Darukama always hits us incredibly hard with Fire Punch, to the point that Sigalith finishes us off every time. I think because of his ability, he can miss that, but I just tried 5 times, and he didn't miss, so I don't know. I tried experimenting with how many growths to use, but no matter what, we don't survive, so I think I'm gonna have to start using some rare candies to level up. By the way, I'm sorry if the footage occasionally gets choppy. This is an issue I would occasionally get in Pokemon Platinum where the emulator didn't play well unless I restarted the computer once in a while, but now it's happening in Pokemon Black as well, and I have no idea why. It's only on this specific version of the emulator as far as I can tell, and changing billions of render options doesn't seem to make any difference. I can't restart the whole run on a different version of the emulator this late in, and even when it works properly, this is version 0.9.11. It's still the fastest one when running with speed up, so it's still ideal as long as it works properly. I don't know, there's probably some program on my computer that's got a conflict with it, and I don't know what one yet. This problem has been identical both before and after I fixed my computer issues, and that included a new motherboard, a new CPU, new RAM, and this was happening before I replaced my GPU near the start of 2025. So I am really stumped on this one. It's definitely not my hardware, it's some kind of software conflict. I just hope I can figure it out one day because it is really getting in the way of work today. Future MDB here, I still haven't 100% figured it out. However, it seems to have something to do with my browser having hardware acceleration, which, man, hardware acceleration causes problems in like every piece of software. I hate it so much. But as far as I can tell, if I close all of my many browsers, and then I fresh reopen everything except Thorium, then the problem doesn't happen. So like, it's annoying, but I have a workaround now. Well, I come back the next day and use a few rare candies just for Fire Punch to miss and us to sweep his whole team. Well, I don't exactly regret using the rare candies considering we're about to go get destroyed in the Electric Gym. Well, this isn't how I thought it was gonna go at all. It was really easy. The Aerial Aces at the start hurt a lot, but the Effect Spore paralyzed our first Emolga and she was using Hyper Potions, so we could heal up a lot with Giga Drain, and by the time we got our second growth in, we could sweep her team. I thought this would be the first brick wall. And of course, the Charon fight after was pretty easy. I think that we kinda got saved by Effect Spore putting Pignite to sleep, but we probably wouldn't have lost either way. It just would have been a lot harder. Or harder, as my script says. Look, beating Pokemon in weird ways every single week for the last 6 years straight has clearly fried my brain. So you'd think that the ground gym of all things would be a cakewalk, but instead it was insane. We got hit by Swagger and used Growth, instantly snapped out of confusion, so we used Swagger again, then we completely obliterated ourselves with confusion damage because our attack was so incredibly high by that point. I can't lie, it was pretty funny. Next try, and we won just fine. I just didn't bother with Growth. Maybe we could have lost if we got crit or if Swagger messed us up, but it wasn't really that hard. After that is Bianca, who was pretty much just a sweep after a little bit of using Growth. Somehow I doubt she's going to be an issue the whole run. Then after that is N, but his team could hardly hurt us, so once again we just take him out with Giga Drain. Man, I can't believe we're using a Pokemon with under 300 base stats, and we are winning these fights so easily. Alright, well, for as well as things have been going, I don't really see it lasting much longer. We have the Flying Gym next, and that's been historically a pretty big problem when using grass types. I could see it being a situation where we need to hit level 50 and learn Spore before we could win. Spore isn't a get out of jail free card, because we are a very slow Pokemon, so I assume we're still gonna get hit at least once at the start of the fight. But I still think that Spore letting us spam Growth could potentially save us in a lot of major fights, if they stay asleep long enough. There's some randomness there, so it might take a while, but good strategy. Will it save us in the Flying Gym as soon as we hit level 50? Probably not, but I do think that we could win before getting too crazy high of a level because of it. Then there's a probably easy Charon fight, and then the Ice Gym. I mean, the Ice Gym is normally easy, but we're weak to ice, so who knows? Actually, the Dragon Gym resists us too, so I guess all of the rest of the gyms are good against us in some way or another. It's not good. Still, Spore's an amazing move, so maybe those fights really won't be that bad. Wow, I really misjudged this. Spore made the Flying Gym easy. At the start, Swoobat was using Amnesia, so we put her to sleep for 3 turns while we built up Growth. Then I used Spore again, assuming that on turn 4 she'd wake up. She did, used Amnesia, we put her to sleep again, then we could get another Growth in and easily sweep the entire gym. That went so well. Now the Charon fight right after was actually pretty difficult, and it took an entire 7 tries because no matter what, he always opens with Taunt, so we can't use Spore or Growth for a few turns, and our attacks don't really do much damage. Plus his Air Slashes kept making us flinch. Eventually, though, we got a run where our Giga Drain healed us a decent amount. One of the Air Slashes missed, and as soon as Pignite came out, we could put him to sleep and build up some Growths. It wasn't horrible, but Taunt is something that really shuts our strategy down, at least for a few turns. And those few turns are important. Now, the Ice Gym was almost a disaster. We used Spore and Growth a ton to build up strength early, and although it went great, we got hit by Swagger partway through the fight, and probably should have lost when we took out most of our own health, but they messed up the follow-up, and we healed back up through Giga Drain. I actually fainted a few times to random trainers in the gym because I was lazy about using Spore, so Ice types are still a real threat for us. Still, we won the gym leader fight on the first try. We just have our last rival fights and the Dragon Gym before we're at the Elite Four. On our way there, though, I took the Plume Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, as expected, the last Bianca fight went the same way as it always does, so no problem there. After that is the Dragon Gym, and they absolutely blew it. They use Dragon Dance constantly to try and get stronger and faster, but then they just give up the speed advantage by going for Dragon Tail. That's a negative priority move, so we always get to just hit them with Spore to block it. If that didn't happen, then we probably could have lost. I guess maybe their AI thought that Dragon Tail would be a good idea to force out one of my HM Pokemon to remove my buffs from Growth. I mean, that or they're picking random moves and I just lucked out, I'm not sure. After those easy fights is Charon though, and he's got a strategy that really shuts us down. He always opens with Detect, then Taunt, So we can get one growth in at the start, then we can one-shot him while he taunts, but next is Embor, who's faster than us and can just wreck us with Flamethrower. Our Giga Drain doesn't do much damage either. That means we hardly heal and end up going down. I'd put him to sleep, but the taunt needs a few more turns to wear off, so there isn't much I can do. Maybe a Quick Claw can save us. I'm gonna give that a try. Alright, well this took a few tries, and I thought I was gonna end up winning without needing the Quick Claw, because he was randomly using Air Slash instead of Taunt. But then it ended up being Quick Claw letting us get some spores in early that won it for us. We still had some close calls, but it only took 3 tries. I really don't like how much weaker our Giga Drain is without Miracle Seed though, so I don't know how often we're gonna want to use this Quick Claw. Well, a lot of the mid-game was pretty fast, but you know how things go in Gen 5 runs. The Elite Four tends to be way harder than the fights before it, so there's a good chance that we won't be able to beat them until we're a far higher level. I mean, N and Getsus both look like they're gonna be awful, and you know Chantel is gonna be a bad one. Really, I think these last 6 fights are all gonna come down to how much Spore saves us. Now that we're the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our attack is higher than our special attack despite having a nature that lowers our attack and raises our special attack, so I must have just gotten fantastic attack IVs and horrible special attack IVs. That's just our luck. Really, I'm not happy with literally any of our stats other than our health being kind of okay. We have a great attack combo, but I'm not convinced that that's going to carry us through all of this. I'm going to use a PowerPoint up on Giga Drain so that we don't run out as quickly, and other than that, we are operating on hope and a prayer. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ghost Trainer Chantel. Yes, I tried this fight 5 times, and after losing to Kafagrigus 4 times in a row thanks to burns and Psychic doing so much damage and us not being able to keep them asleep, Chandelure came in and obliterated us. We're not even close to surviving this right now. I'm gonna just level all the way to 70. This is gonna be rough. So I get to level 70, fail a bunch of times getting to Chandelure, finally get to it with most of our health left, and then we get one shot. I knew this would happen. I still have to get stronger. Maybe I'll end up faster than them at some point or something. So after losing a bunch at level 75, I tried getting to level 80. I had this incredibly lucky run where I managed to get past Kafagrigus without getting hurt once due to sheer luck. Then Chandelure missed Fire Blast, we put it to sleep, did a ton of damage, then she full restored twice in a row, then hit Fire Blast to one-shot us from full health. This is exactly as bad as I knew it would be. We are literally going to need to be level 90 for this, I swear. Wow, so all the way at level 90, and we finally got to Chandelure with high health, and it's a good thing that we do, because we survived Fire Blast with only about 30 health left, then used Giga Drain to sweep the rest of her team. Only because we got 4 growths at the start, of course. Man, I knew Chantel would be bad, but I was thinking we could win at level 80 until I actually started trying the fight. Hey, you want to know a very much not fun fact? Because I kept having to close and reopen the emulator due to those choppy frame rate issues that I was talking about before, I forgot to close the old one and just opened a new one on one of these tries. Well, I won the fight, but because it was only recording the old emulator by accident, I had to do this fight 6 more times to get the win and get it on camera. Yeah, needless to say, I'm ditching this emulator and moving to Melon DS for the next challenge. Future MDB here. I downloaded Melon DS, and it doesn't have turbo buttons, and you can't remap save states. What? That slows down when I need to retry the same fight over and over so much. That's not practical. I can't do that. And are you kidding me? It can't map auto-fire buttons? Brother, I've had emulators since like 1998 that could do that. I was like a small child at the time, and they could do that. I'm not gonna run without turbo buttons again. That's how I ruined like 2 controllers, is doing these challenges without turbo buttons. Also, now that I know a little bit more about where the choppiness issue is coming from, it would probably happen to Melon DS too. Second is Dark Trainer Grimsley. Now, we had a really close call here against Bisharp because of Sand Attack making us faint, but we were hitting really hard, so we still got a first try win. I'm pretty confident that at this point the rest of the Elite Four isn't going to be too bad, but Enon gets us. They might still be brutal. Third is Fighting Trainer Marshall. This wasn't too bad though, most of his team can't seem to do much damage to us, and Giga Drain hits incredibly hard and keeps us healthy, so I don't think there's any way that we could have lost this fight. Fourth is Psychic Trainer Caitlyn. Now this one actually took 5 tries because her first Pokemon absolutely would not stay asleep, but eventually I had this run where we got a few good growths in, then we swept her team. Her Uniclus did actually dodge Spore thanks to Wonder Skin, an ability I didn't even know it had until I looked it up after, but thankfully Giga Drain was a one-shot, so I guess I didn't even need Spore in the first place. Alright, time for N. Things start with a very long battle with Zekrom. I kept putting him to sleep and maxing out our growths, but he kept using Light Screen, so we don't do nearly as much damage to him as we should, and that's with a Miracle Seed. I was hoping that I could just time it out so that his light screen would fade as he faints, but it was still up as he went down, so that's something to worry about. Vanillux is next and faster than us, but he just uses Hail, so we take him out fast. Klinkling does a decent chunk of damage to us, but we fully heal as we take him out, and it turns out it was just Zoroark. Zoroark. Am I saying that right? I don't know, I feel like the O into the A into the R just messes me up every time. Maybe it's Zorark? Zorark? No, it's probably Zoroark. The real Klinkling is next, so we get hit by Metal Sound to lose a bunch of special defense before we one-shot it. Archeops was after that, and I knew it would be bad. It outspeeds us and brings us to only 20 health with Acrobatics. We one-shot him, but we don't heal a ton, and the Hail brings our health down a little bit. Last is Caracosta though, so we just put him to sleep, hit Giga Drain, then he survived with Sturdy, so we had to finish him off the next round. Hey, that was a first try, and I think Getsus is probably going to be even easier. Last is Getsus, but this went incredibly well. Even easier than I thought it would. Cofagrigus couldn't do much to us, so we easily got all 6 growths in, then swept his team, getting us the win. The Chantel fight might have been really hard, but that went so much better than I thought it would. Stats-wise, this is easily one of the weaker Pokemon that I've beaten the game with, especially when it comes to Gen 5, and yet the amazing move combo of Spore, Growth, and Giga Drain just carried us through pretty much the whole thing. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Gold with only one Snubbull. I love that Pokemon, but it's time to figure out how good it really is in its first game. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the Challenge Quest section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. I am the sorest man who's ever lived. Normally it's like my right shoulder bladey, shoulder into neck area. You know, I got like a right shoulder hunch thing going on. Although it's a lot better than it used to be. Lately, it's been like the left shoulder blade. Like right is just to the left of the spine and just to the right of the shoulder blade. That in-between part. Oh man, it's brutal. And I think it's because I've been doing like so many like physiotherapy corrective exercises and everything. Maybe it's getting overstretched. Maybe it's getting overworked. I don't know, man. I would go back to the physiotherapist, but like, that ain't cheap. Oh, speaking of ain't cheap, it is the 2nd of January when I'm doing this voiceover right now. And Sabu's got some dental bills coming up because he's gonna have to get a teeth cleaning again. Sabu's one of my cats. He's like a Persian Himalayan flame point kind of cat. They tend to get dental issues. He's always had dental issues, so he needs a cleaning once every few years. He's not the best about letting me brush his teeth, although I try my best, and although I can keep it at bay a little bit, I use some dental food and stuff. Nothing's perfect. He needs to have the cleaning done every once in a while, and it's not cheap, because as you can imagine, having to knock out a cat so that you can clean their teeth, because cats don't put up with that, yeah, it sucks. Actually, you know what, it's not even like his teeth that are really bad this time, it's that he's got some like gingivitis in his gums. I think it's gingivitis. So, gotta have that handled. It's a shame, but it's what it is. I take care of my boys. Anyway, $50 supporter shoutout tier, and we have a new one this time. We got Jacob Busby, Javid Khusro, Grayson Fitz, Tara Luis, Alexandra Hedgeblog, Joel Mann, Dark Soul, Young Smoky VP, and now we have Cal Anderson, which is literally 2 letters off Carl Anderson of the Good Brothers. Wrestling reference. Now I want to get editing, but I don't want to sign off quite yet. I want to float an idea by you. I probably can't stream Pokemon challenges, like the actual streaming of me playing these weekly Pokemon challenges every week. It just wouldn't work. I've done it before with a Fallout challenge, and I thought that worked pretty well, because with Fallout challenges, I just do that across like 2 play sessions anyway. It's not a big deal, they really don't take that long. But with Pokemon ones, I had to like take breaks to research a lot, and it's lots of little sessions over the course of usually 5 to 7 days. Yeah, I would say it's rarely 7 days though. I take like a lot of walking breaks and stuff in it too, because it kind of is more of an all-day thing to do these, at least for me, because, you know, neck stuff, I can't sit all day like that, like I could when I was younger. So I don't know how practical it's gonna be, but I was thinking, you know what, if my body is putting up with it, maybe once in a while I'll just like go live for maybe 2 hours in the middle of a challenge recording session and just hang out with you guys while I'm recording it. I tried doing a challenge like this like legit 6 years ago where I was doing Pokemon Gold. I think it was Gold. It could have been Crystal, but I think it was Gold, where I was throwing out my whole team and getting a new team after every gym. And like, it was fun to do, but I think I only got like 3 gyms in, and it's because I very quickly realized I am way too chatty to do that. It's brutal. I can't do that because I'm talking with you guys so much on the stream, and I'm not focusing on my script, and I'm not focusing on the run enough, because, you know, if you've watched my Let's Plays and my streams, you know that, like, I'm an entertainer first, and not a, I don't know, look how awesome I am at video games kind of guy. And so, like, you know, you watch my challenges, you already know I'm not the best Pokemon player out there. If you wanted to watch people be really good at challenges, you'd be watching people like J Rose or Scott's Thoughts, and you probably are. But like, if I'm streaming, I'm kind of in entertainer mode, so I end up becoming very unproductive. I don't know, it kind of works with Bethesda games like Fallout New Vegas or Oblivion or whatever, because so much of the entertainment value of my challenge runs in that is me goofing around and doing stupid things, because those games are just very funny in general. Whereas the Pokemon challenges are generally less funny. It's more of easy listening, easy watching, I'm doing my dishes, I'm going to sleep, and I'm gonna put on an MDB video, you know what I mean? But I kind of want to give it a try because I really like streaming, I want to stream more. I'm sure you guys would enjoy seeing me stream more Pokemon stuff because obviously the majority of you here are primarily interested in Pokemon. I know you like other stuff too, and I know you're probably not watching me unless you like me, but obviously the majority of you do have an interest in Pokemon, and so that's probably what you would want to see me play the most. So like, I don't know when, I'll give it a try. Those streams will probably mostly be here on this very YouTube channel, and I'll probably just leave the recording of it up in the live section of this recording channel, this YouTube channel, recording channel, that doesn't make any sense, rather than putting it on my other YouTube channel that I normally put streams up on. I don't know, that just makes the most sense to me, and then, like, obviously, I would still, you know, upload the challenge the exact same way I always do the challenge. The production value of the stream probably isn't going to be great. It's not going to be set up how I would normally set up a stream. It's probably not going to have, like, on-screen alerts or anything like that, because I'm not sure I could do that and not have it impact the actual recordings that I need to then edit for the challenge video itself. But I don't know. I'll mess it around, I'll see what I can do, and I'll just do that sometime when I can. It's probably not going to be like a pre-announced thing, it's just, if I have some time, I got the house to myself, and my body's not in horrible agony, you know? So, it's not like you're going to watch the entire challenge beginning to end like that, it's just going to be chunks here and there when I can. I'll experiment with it, we'll see if we have a fun time with it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Anyway, I now need to struggle through editing a Pokemon challenge because my mouse that I love so much and I adore, it's a Logitech, oh, what is it? It's like a G502 Hero, I think is what it's called, sorry. I legit can't read the text on the bottom because it's like 5 years old and the text is worn out, so it doesn't say the name of it anymore. I love the mouse, it's the most comfortable mouse I've ever had, I love the weight of it, I love the DPI settings and everything on it, the side buttons that are programmable, it's great, but it's so worn out now that it's having a double clicking issue, and even if I hold a left click, often it thinks I'm letting go and rapidly clicking again, and it's at the point where I can't even drag windows around on my screen properly most of the time. So I had to crack out my old wireless vertical mouse, which is, it's okay, it's not super precise, I don't find it super comfortable either, and I'm gonna have to edit with that because it's way easier than editing with a mouse where the left mouse button doesn't work properly. So, I mean, you can wish me luck on that, but if you're watching this video, then I guess it's already edited. I gotta stop rambling. It's time to get this edit over and done with. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.